delayed completion of projects. Then you go to management, cause of query.
Thank you, Chair, for guidance. Delayed completion of projects, Chair. Management response. Soon be mother's shelter. The community failed to contribute. That's the cause of query, Chair. The community failed to contribute additional materials for the second phase, which included plastering, fixing of door frames, doors, septic tank, and soccerways. Action taken, Chair. Some funds were added under 2022 CDF funding to procure additional materials that were supposed to be contributed by the community, and the project has been completed. The media measure. Full contracts to be awarded under community projects. The status, Chair. The project is now completed. As you can see, the attached pictures as Appendix 1. Thank you, Chair. I proceed.
Yes, please.
On 2, completion of 1x4 classroom block at Chomba Primary School. Because of query, Chair, management wishes to state that during the second phase of the project, additional materials that were to be provided by the communities were not delivered to a site. As such, the project could not be completed within the contract period. Further, the matter was communicated to the CDFC for allocation of additional funds to the project, as we have provided the attached approval letter showing the additional funds, Chair. Action taken. The contract was terminated and the project was completed using labor-based contract. The media measure. Council to be undertaking effective contract management and ensuring strength project monitoring. The status, Chair. The project was completed. You can see the attached pictures as Appendix 2. Query number 2, Chair. Youth, women, and community empowerment failure to implement projects. Management response. Cause of query. Management wishes to acknowledge the auditor's observation and wish to state that during the time of audit, the various groups and cooperatives were not accessible due to communication challenges. In addition, individual groups had challenges on sourcing of farm inputs, poultry products before spending the financial resources. The status on the ground is that all the projects are being implemented. Action taken. The groups were engaged and the projects were monitored as per attached status report as Appendix P. Chair. The media measure. Management has enhanced sensitization and frequent monitoring of the beneficiaries of grants to ensure prudent use of public resources. Query number 3, Chair. Administrative costs, irregular cash withdrawals. Management response. Cause of query. Management wishes to acknowledge the auditor's observation and wish to state that during the period under review, members for Constituency Development Fund Committee had no bank accounts to be paid direct in their accounts. The other part of allowances were transport refund drawn on behalf of stakeholders from the committees who are members of ward development committees, zonal representatives, and civil society organizations who had no bank accounts during the orientation of 2022 CDF guidelines, and allowances for officers whose accounts had challenges with TPN with the bank. Also, the district chair has no bank. Action taken. The Constituency Development Fund Committee members have opened accounts, and payments of allowances are now paid direct to the members' accounts. You can see the attached appendix 4 for personal accounts opened by CDF members. Chair is where we have added some more information as we have distributed the attachment, Chair. The major measures. The taking of office for Constituency Development Fund Committee and Ward Development Committee members is coming to an end on 15th February 2024. The new office bearers for Constituency Development Fund Committee and Ward Development Committee, they will only be paid when they open the individual accounts. Cross-cutting audit findings here. We have budget performance, management response, cause of query. Management wishes to acknowledge the auditor's observation and wish to state that the variance of 2 million was as a result of funds held by the Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development for procurement of a CDF monitoring vehicle and a police vehicle. Balance brought forward of 1,735,121 consists of 1,600,000 CDF funding, which the Council received in October 2021 allocation, and 135,121 was savings from community projects under 2020 allocation. The unspent balance of 21,225,957 consists of community projects amounting to 12,693,093 kwacha 91 ngwe, disaster funds amounting to 676,587 46 kwacha, loans amounting to 2,706,349 84 kwacha, bursaries and skills development fund amounting to 4,046,360 kwacha, and unspent funds for CDF administration component amounting to 264,910 and 5 kwacha. Action taken. We have a table, Chair. The first item is community projects and the unspent funds and the expenditure and unspent funds, expenditure to date, and unspent. So the first item, Chair, is on community projects that are the 13,531,749.2. Then expenditure to date is 12,693,93 kwacha 91 ngwe. Unspent balance is 838,655.29. On 2 disaster project, we have 676,587.46. Expenditure to date, we have 326,378.52. Unspent balance, we have 350,208.94 kwacha. 3 loans, we have 2,706,349.84 kwacha. On expenditure to date, Chair, 2,706,349,084 kwacha. And spent funds here, 00. For bursaries and skills development, we have 4,046 kwacha 360. Expenditure to date is 1,932,223 kwacha. And spent balance is 2,114,137 kwacha. 5, administrative component, we have 264,910.5 kwacha. Expenditure to date, 264,910.5 kwacha. Unspent balances is indicating 00, Chair. We have now a total of 21,225,957 kwacha. Under expenditure to date, we have 17,922,955.32 kwacha. And spent 3,303,001 kwacha 68 kwacha. Community projects. The local authority wishes to inform the committee that the current unspent funds amounting to 838,655.29 kwacha is for the following reasons, and these are as follows. Running projects, that are 3. Funds for defect liability period, which is 5%. Disaster project, the local authority wishes to inform the committee that the unspent funds amounting to 249,841.15 kwacha is for the disaster running projects, and the balance of 100,158 kwacha 85 kwacha is for unseen disaster, totaling to 350,295. Bursaries and skills development. The local authority sought authority for a valuation of 2,114,137 kwacha from unutilized funds for the bursaries and skills development towards the construction of an X-ray amounting to 750,000. Additional funds on the procurement of tipper truck amounting to 540,000. Street lighting amounting to 360,000. Installation of culverts at school in Sonda amounting to 120,000. Making of shoulders at Senga Market amounting to 130,000. Roofing of Maore Primary School and roofing of John Chikomangombe Staff House amounting to 100,000. Management has paid the loans beneficiaries for 2022 Constituency Development Fund allocation, and funds for community projects have been spent. There is a status report attached here as Appendix 5. Remedial measures. Management has enhanced sensitization within the district to ensure the beneficiaries of the funds to submit the project proposals, loan applications, schools development bursaries applications on time to ensure timely absorption of funds, resulting in timely delivery of expectations. The decentralization level, which has since been implemented, will help the Council to frequently follow up on the approved projects from the CDFC, awaiting for final approval from both the Provincial Government Office and the Office of the Attorney General, where applicable. Credit 5, failure to spend, Chair. Management response. Cause of credit. Management wishes to acknowledge the auditor's observation and wish to state that the outstanding community projects was as a result of awaiting publication of CDF guidelines, formation of ward development committees, members, and orientation of Constituency Development Fund members for a period of 3 months. Action taken. All the 30 projects which were started have now been completed and are under defective ability period, except 3 projects which are at 90%. We have attached a completion certificate here as Appendix 6. The major measures. Management to be engaging relevant authorities, that is policymakers, for timely approvals of community projects. Further, the ministry has decentralized approval activities at provincial centers. 6, quite 6 here. Bursary secondary school and skills development and spent grants. Management response. Cause of query. Management wishes to acknowledge the auditor's observation and wish to state that the council received low turnout of renewal application than the disbursed funds from the allocation. And during the early implementation of Constituency Development Fund, boarding secondary schools and schools development bursaries, the Constituency Development Fund guidelines were silent on the provision of necessities such as meals, accommodation, safety attires. The revenue institutions outside the district, and this resulted in the council spending less than the approved funds. Action taken. The local authority has implemented the circular minute number MLGRD/101/22/157 dated 4th May 2023, which guided all local authorities to provide meals, accommodation, safety attire as attached on Appendix 7. The major measures. Management has enhanced sensitization across the district and has even reached out to the vulnerable who cannot afford to meet the stated requirements. Thank you, Chair. This is the end of my report.
Thank you very much. Dr. Mwanza.
Thank you, Chair. I refer the report to refer the committee to page 2. Delayed completion of projects. You've cited there are 4 projects have been delayed for projects ranging from 6 to 10 months. You have attached on page 3 only 2 projects out of 4. Where are the other 2 projects? The second question, the completion, on page 3, the completion of another shelter at Sumbi. This is a project that was funded in 2021. And the original mode of the project execution was labor-based. The contractor was Richard Silumba. And then the second project, which is 2022, completion of 1x4 classroom block at Chomba Primary School. Originally, it is also by, I don't know the mode of contract execution that was entered into between Iceman Investment Limited. I'm interested in the 1x4 classroom block at Chomba Primary School. Management has decided to terminate the contract with the Iceman due to breach of contractual obligations on the contractor's side. And they have reverted to labor-based. What is the difference? What is the difference between after termination of the contract, you've reverted to labor-based, which was the original mode of project execution? And what was the final financial closure with the previous contractor? I think.
Honorable Kamanda, is it on the same?
Yes.
And the Honorable Nyambosa the same? Yes. Taking note of those questions, Councillor Secretary.
I think I also take you to the same page, page 4, on the Sumbi Mothers Shelter.
Is it the same question?
The same question. Actually, the Honorable Member has tackled 2 projects, the first one and the second one. Now I'm going to the first one so that you do it together. You have given reasons that the reason why this project delayed was because it was a community-based project, whereby the community was supposed to contribute about 25% as a community contribution. However, since actually the increment of CDF, all of us were aware that the issues to do with the community contribution actually was phased out, meaning that all the projects that were supposed to be undertaken were supposed to use actually the CDF because it was increased. I want to find out, did you do the field appraisal to make sure that you find out exactly what these people were applying for the completion of this mother's shelter, including the second project, which is the completion of 1x4 Chomba Primary School? Why did you not do the needful by making sure that you go there for site visiting, you find out exactly what was required, so that at least these people could not have been delayed in this manner? Because the moment they heard that CDF was increased, they decided to pull up their socks so that they can't contribute anything. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair, once again. Chair, I'm also on Sumbi Mother Shelter. The action taken by management is that some funds were added under 2022 funding to procure the additional materials that were supposed to have been contributed by the community, and the project has completed. I will not ask the same question that Doko and the Honorable Kamonda asked as to why they reverted to labor-based, but I want to find out from the council how much was added to complete this project. How much was added, and how much was area spent? Was it a total amount that was allocated, and how much was added to this contractor? And if there is any completion certificate, would you show this committee the completion certificate for this project? Council Secretary, I submit.
Thank you very much, Councillor Secretary. Switch on your mic. Yes.
Thank you, Chair. The first question was being referred to that there were 4 projects, only 2 have been mentioned. The other 2 were dropped. That's why we decided that we mentioned the 2 that were not dropped here. I think the time the audit verification was done, they were dropped.
Councillor Secretary, they are not appearing here. Are they appearing on the query? Before I ask the auditor to clarify, are they appearing here?
Chair, what I'm saying, the 2 that
No,
are ones that
I'm
are
asking a one-word question, sir. Are they appearing or not?
Chair, they are not appearing.
They are not appearing here. Okay, thank you. What General?
Thank you, Chair. According to the report, we only queried 2 projects and not 4.
Okay.
So, on page 308 of the report, there were just 2 projects that were queried. So we don't know where the council is getting the 4. Thank you.
So where are the 4? Where are the other 2 coming from? Councillor Secretary.
Thank you, Chair. I think I'll refer to my Director of Works to help me on this one.
Director of Works.
Thank you, Chair. If we look at on page 2, I think they didn't rewrite the statement. At first, we had
Can clarify that. Who didn't
No,
write it?
I'll start with specific audit findings. That's where the error is mentioned in 4 projects, as in that are queried. Then when you go to chair, you go to page.
That is page what?
That's page 2. That's where that 4 is coming from, where it's mentioned in 4 projects at delayed for periods ranging from 6 to 10 months. This was not our response. I think they didn't correct this statement. Then, chair, when you go to page 3,
Just there, sir, because
Okay.
we want to get every single step very clear, because you are writing a report. So when you say they didn't, you are not sure where this one is coming from. When the auditors came to your institution, were you there yourself?
yes,
And you interacted with the auditors?
yes.
And you couldn't tell them that this is not supposed to be like this?
Sorry about that, chair, but my concern is at first we had the 4 queried projects. Then when they came for verification, they dropped to 2. So this statement on specific audit findings was supposed to be corrected to 2, because if you look on the second page,
Okay,
where
just when you are there, this is the Auditor General's report, the main report.
yes.
Okay? If I want to read for you, delayed completion of projects. Section 5 of the Constituency Development Fund Act number 11 of 2018 states that a project that is approved by the minister shall be funded, and the implementation of the approved project shall be completed within the agreed contractual period. Now listen, contrary to the Act, 2 projects had delayed for a period ranging from 10 to 20 months. 2 projects in the main report. So where are we getting the 4? If you check in the main report, there are actually two projects here. So how did you write these 4 projects? Because we want just to be cleared. The auditors have cleared that it's only 2 projects that they queried. So what's the explanation there so that we move?
Maybe, Chair, I admit maybe it was a typo error. Otherwise, they are just 2 projects which are queried up to date.
Yes, Secretary, did you read this report before coming here with your team?
Thank you, Chair. I think I read through. We just apologize to the committee for that misinformation, Chair. Thank you.
Okay, can you respond to the queries from the members? Secretary.
Thank you, Chair. On the money spent on Sumbi Mother Shelter and the money area 1 spent and the money that was added, I would like my Director of Works to give more details on the same. Thank you.
And the appetite to use rubber-based?
Yes, and the river base. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. I think there are a lot of questions that has been asked. I've taken note. I will start with the reasons why maybe the 25%, which is the upfront material, was included since the CDF has been increased. I want to tell this committee that the 2021 CDF allocation, we are talking of 1,600,000 kwacha. Before then, this was a must by the community. So maybe let me state to say that
what was a must?
The community's contribution from the community, because under 2021 CDF, the allocation was 1,600,000 kwacha and not 25, because that was before they increased. So the CDF we are talking about, it's 2021 CDF, which is 1,600,000 kwacha. So let me state also to say that the project had some phases. We started with first phase, which is mother's shelter. We started the structure, then it ended up at roofing. That was the first stage. So the one which was queried, was in the second phase, which was supposed to be plastering, roofing, and painting finally. So the money allocated to to the same structure. At first, we allocated 80,000, which was the first phase with the material contribution. Then the second phase, which is the one queried, we allocated the 75,000. Then the additional fund now to the same, which helped us to feed materials like sand and the bricks, bent bricks. We added the 10,000 on top. There is a conveyance which is supporting the same statement. Then on the construction of 1x4 at Chomba, equally the project, the background, the project started by the community up to gable level. Then we came in as a council to complete it. The contract, I want to state that it was full contract at first, but even though it was a full contract, it had that connection to say the community had that upfront material to pay, as in they were supposed to provide that 25% to the full contract. So even equally the same, we added the 50,000 on the same, on the completion, because the community was supposed to bring sand so that it cushion on the contract sum. Let me go to the completion certificates. For Sumbi Mother's Shelter, it was labor-based. The one which is showing that the project is completed, we can check the ledgers. We have attached the ledgers for both Mother's Shelter. It was done through labor-based. Then the other one, which is the construction of 1x4 at Chomba, it was full contract. Then the contractor failed to complete within the given time. It was terminated, and then we reverted to labor-based. So we reverted to labor-based, as in the ledgers are showing the status of the same on the same.
So we have no certificate.
Just on the same, the financial closure.
The financial closure.
Is it this one which is on page 3? 120,000 out of
No.
is it this one on page 3 which is showing the contract sum as 196,440, and then the expenditure is 120,000. So it means you had paid almost 61%. And when I look at the scope of work which is remaining, this amount is not enough to complete the works. So how do you go about that?
Yes.
Chair, I'm a layman. The director is indicating that the first phase was under full contract. That's what I got. The first phase was under full contract, and it was executed to the fullest. Whether it was partial, but as for the scope of work for the first phase, it was done until council came in and made additional funds under labor-based. If that was the case, do you have any evidence of the IPCs or completion certificates for the first phase, which was under full contract, partial or full completion according to the scope of works, that you can adduce to this committee for us to appreciate that indeed these works were done?
Director of Works.
Thank you, Chair. Maybe just a clarity on the same. Like I stated, the project, it was started by the community. That's the first stage. Then it reached a certain stage, which was Gable. Then we engaged the contractor who was supposed to complete everything remaining on a full contract. So as he started executing the project, we discovered that the sand which we anticipated coming from the community did not come through. That's when we added a 50,000 so that it can cushion to bring those materials. But as the status says, he was supposed to, as at, like according to the query, it is saying as at that date, he did not complete roofing, he did not do this and this and this and this as stated. I want also to clarify that as at that time of audit, he had roofed about two classes. He had roofed 2 classes, then all the window frames were fixed. And he started doing the plastering. So it was in that vein when we added that 50,000, meaning he was supposed to, everything was like reverted back to him to be buying those sand and everything in place so that to see that project complete.
Honorable member.
Thank you very much, Chair. Chair, I'm a layman in terms of these issues. And the Director of Works is stating to this committee that there was a full contract. Now, I want to find out why did you add that 50 pin when everything was in a full contract? That's where I'm not getting it, Chair. They're saying there was a full contract. But again, we just added the 50 pin so that he can. What was the purpose of adding this 50 pin to a full contract? Because I know that when there is a full contract, everything will be done under that contract, Chair. So I would want to find out what was the purpose of adding a 50 pin to that contract.
Honorable member, some addition? Yes.
Chair, just as Honorable Simumba has indicated, a full contract. Would like to know, this committee would like to know, what was the contract price and the terms of the contract and the scope of works. And did this contractor, on the scope of works that was supposed to be done under this particular full contract, did he score any milestones, and what were the payments for those milestones that were scored before you terminated or whatever action you took? Because our belief is that if it's a full contract, he takes over something, then you get any minutes that authorized the 50,000. Any authority from CDF committee or anywhere that attached that no, we authorize another 50,000 to the area contract. What was the contract price of this contract, and how did you give further 50,000 kwacha? Which authority did you get? Thank you.
Director of Works.
Okay. Thank you, Chair, for that clarification and that question. First, I'll start with the contract sum. It was 196,440,000. That's the contract sum, and the scope of works included roofing, plastering, glazing, painting, and carpentry, which is fixing of doors. And what's the milestone, like the question has come, like which is scored for him, for us maybe to pay that 121. So maybe let me try to clarify the same. When it comes to payment of funds to the contractors, it's based on the works done. So you compare the BOQ. Say if you are like, say, I'll give an example of if we have done like, say, a fixing of window frames, which are 16 in total. So there is a figure at the end there. So when you combine those fixing of, like if he has fixed all the window frames up to the end, you combine the amount for the window frames, you pay out that figure. So like before the contract was terminated,
Chair, sorry for, you don't need to lecture.
Oh, okay.
We know. We just answer the questions.
Yes.
When we say milestones, we know those are, once windows are done, say, he has scored, you pay. So don't need to lecture us. We are laymen, but we are MPs. we know some of these things. So answer, the contract price was 196,440. What he did was so much and how much was paid, and we added the 50,000, and the 50,000, the authority is on appendix. So CDF committee met and approved under 50,000, and the justification for the approval was ABCD, period.
Director of Works. Those short answers. Yes.
Thank you for that clarification. Well noted. Like I said, the contract sum was 196,440. So the payment made to the contractor was according to the works done. Then the milestone that he had gone in terms of before we terminated the contract, he had done roofing up to two classes. He had done roofing 2 classes. Then he also procured roofing up to the end, which will see the roofing completed. Then the spider trusses he had already fixed.
So,
window frames.
So you are consuming a lot of time. Didn't you get what he said?
I got, Chair.
There are 3 questions. Tell us the person that gave you authority for 50,000. Tell us the full contract. How much was that? And then the 50,000, why did you add it on a full contract? All those 3. Don't tell us about spider trusses and all those things.
Okay, Chair. Sorry about that.
Give us those
maybe I got him wrong to say the milestone that he had gone. Okay, this is stated. The authority why the 50,000 was added to the contract. Like I stated, the way we.
No, sir. Is it difficult for you to hear or to understand what you are saying? Don't tell us why you got that money. He is just asking, why did you add 50,000 on a full contract? That is number 1. Number 2, why did you get the authority for that 50,000? Number 3, what was the contract sum for the new contract? Can Secretary, maybe help you, man. Yes, go ahead.
Through the Chair, the authority from CDFC committee, the authorities from CDFC committee,
you have the minutes?
Okay. Full contract, like I stated, I'm coming to why we added 50,000. That's why I wanted to justify, Chair. Just under 30 seconds.
You don't need to argue with us. Eh?
Oh, okay.
We told you. Do you have, you said from CDC.
Yeah.
We are following you.
Oh, okay.
So from CDF committee, give us the minutes. That's the second step. You have the minutes.
Conveyance is there, Chair.
Yes, listen, you said CDF a few minutes ago that they gave you the authority to add 50,000. Now give us the minutes for that CDF meeting. Do you have it? Yes, do you have it?
Sorry, Chair. On the conveyance, we thought of conveyance is more proof, because before you take the proposal for submission, you attach.
You took it there, and when you took it there, you wanted the authority in writing.
Yes, sir.
That yes, we have authorized you now. Can you do that? Do you have those minutes? That's the question.
No, Chair. The minutes.
Do you have those minutes?
Thank you, Chair. We don't have those minutes.
I want you to be mindful of Cap 12, Director of Works.
Yes.
I want you to be very mindful of that.
We are
So
Chair.
we are asking you specific questions, give us specific answers. We are asking you the minutes from the CDF committee. You want to give us the conveyance from the ministry. Is that what you have asked for? Yes, now you don't have that. You don't have that. So we are saying, why did you add 50,000 on a full contract? Director of Works, why did you add that?
Why we added the 50,000 on a full contract is the way we structured the contract, as in it involved the community contribution from there.
So, Director of Works, is that the standard? When you are giving out full contract, you can structure particular contract and add something from the community. Is that the standard? As an engineer, a qualified engineer for that matter. Is that the way it works? On a full contract, you can still structure it so that you bring some more money. You can do that.
No, Chair, sorry about that.
Don't do that.
We are partial.
So to help Director Works, this was under full contract. It was under full contract, and the project was started by the community. Then later, it was full contract. At that stage, when it was full contract, which means that the community obligations were over completely. In fact, according to what we want to promote, is to create employment from the locals, even technology transfer. Now, at full contract, and you know, when you talk too much, you open a certain can of worms. You said the scope of works at full contract was involving roofing, plastering, glazing, ironmongery, or all those kind of things. Now, you justified 50,000 kwacha as a payment towards what the community would have contributed. What kind of community, what kind of upfront materials was the community going to contribute to work whose scope was involving roofing? Was involving roofing, was involving glazing, was involving ironmongery and those kind of stuff. Because the justification for 50,000 is that the community was to delay to give the contractor upfront payment. But my question now is that 50,000 that you gave to the contractor, I'm not looking at the authority, that 50,000 that you gave to the contractor, what materials was the community going to contribute when the contractor was going to do roofing? It is understood when the contractor, if it's labor-based, now you ask the community to contribute upfront materials like river sand. You know, when it is just at excavation stage, river sand and building sand. And sometimes you can ask for maybe bent bricks. But normally it doesn't work. But just the river sand and building sand. But at this stage, when the contract was roofing, you expected the community to provide nails or what? So the 50,000 is questionable. From the justification to pay the contractor 50,000, and even the authority, you never sought authority from the CDFC. Had they brought this matter to the CDFC, maybe they could have rejected. Thank
you. Sorry. Yes, as we sit here, there is no basis of getting 50,000. So far, 50,000 has not been explained about. So we don't know what 50,000 is as far as we are concerned, because there is no documentation to clarify where that money went. Honorable members.
Chair, I just wanted to indicate, Chair, although we could have done better to respond first, but if you take note, this was 2022. You alluded to the fact that when you started this project, it was under 1.6. Then now you had the favor of 25.7 million. Then you again pay the 50,000 to help labor, which Dr. Mwanza said, it was now at roofing. There is no justification. Chair, what I see is just collusion with some officers with the contractors. And this is taking away the monies which are supposed to help the people of Sengahill. We can easily see this transaction. We can smell a rat. There is something wrong with this transaction. And where was the procurement? We'd like to know how you procured this, and the auditor to have allowed a full contract, additional 50,000 kwacha, Chairperson.
Yes.
So this is questionable, and the answers needs to be given, Council Secretary. Those who approved, what were you approving on a full contract? I submit.
Thank you. Internal auditor? Did you see this particular payment? First, we are talking about 50,000. Internal auditor?
Yes, Chair, I saw the payment.
You saw the 50,000.
Yes.
And what was did you see the contract, the full contract?
Yes, the contract was in the justification.
I want us to be chatting nicely. Did you see the full contract?
Yes.
And then eventually you saw the 50,000?
Yes.
What was your comment?
My comment was the justification was given by the Director of Works, saying it was adding up materials that were missing.
According to you professionally, what is a full contract? Or let me simplify it. Are you supposed to add some more money on a full contract? If you gave somebody to build a school, full contract, can you come back and say, no, we are going to buy you the timber? Is that profession?
No, Chair.
Is that not what you did?
I take full responsibility what I erred.
No, but you know how much the government is losing in those errors that you are making as officers. Director of Works, we want you to pay attention when you are talking, because this whole mess is surrounding your department. It's coming from your department. We are not happy. You are trying to establish, because you as a profession, you know, as a technocrat, you know what a full contract is. And then you are trying to justify the 50,000, which is unjustifiable. You are from Center Hill. You say full allowance that you are supposed to get is 10,000. Then again you say 2,000, we want to help you with 2,000. When you have that full thing, this is very unfortunate, officers. This is very unfortunate. Yes, on a different one.
As you take note of observation, Council Secretary, you must take responsibility. The buck stops at you. Question number, on page 5, Chair, is on youth, women, and community empowerment, failure to implement projects. Chair, 125,000 was issued to 5 groups, 5 selected applicants to undertake various projects such as poultry farming and goat keeping. However, as at 31st October 2023, the respective projects had not been implemented, Chair. My interest is on the management response. They say management wishes to acknowledge the auditor's observations and wish to state that during the time of audit, various groups and cooperatives were not accessible due to communication challenges. I take note. Then in the action taken, Chair, the groups were engaged and their projects monitored. In the same breath, they say that they were inaccessible because of communication challenges. Council Secretary, these groups are in your wards. You have WDC chairpersons and the zones and committees, and you have councillors. How did you fail to access these groups, 5 groups, during the period under review, when auditors came, when you had councillors who you communicate with every day? Then later on you fail to furnish the auditors, external auditors, with information. Then later on you say, no, we have since communicated. What are you telling this committee? What happened for you to issue 125,000 kwacha to 5 clubs who have not undertaken projects and they were not accessible? What happened? And what are you telling this committee? Are you monitoring these projects or you are not? I submit, Chair.
Council Secretary. Thank you, Chair. What we can say now is that the monitoring At that particular time, we had challenges because now there's a vehicle. I think this time we have improved in terms of monitoring. The communication challenges, Chair, was that at that particular time when the groups were supposed to be monitored, it was very difficult to find them in their various collocations. Knowing our district that communication is really a challenge because it's a vast district here. But for further details, I would like the disciplining officer to give more details to what I've said. You.
Yes, Chair. I'll just comment on the monitoring aspect. The time of monitoring, yes, we went through the various places, but we did not find the beneficiaries. But later on, after communication, because on the application form we have the contact numbers, about two, the chairperson and the secretary. So we used those channels. The phones went unanswered. But the other day when we went there, we found the committee members present. It's when we did the monitoring. And their business are viable, they are operational. I submit, Chair.
That was after the...
Yes.
After the auditors
audit.
left.
Yes.
But the question is, during the time of audit, why was it difficult to access these 5 groups? Because there are various channels of communication. Just as you have alluded that on the application form, there are those contact details, phone numbers. The Council Secretary is saying Senga Hill is vast. It does not arise because unless you're telling me that there's no communication network, there's no telephone. So why did you decide not to access these 5 groups? They were hidden to the auditor. Follow-up question.
Chair, thank you very much. On the same monitoring challenges, Chair, when you look at page 5, administrative component, we are having challenges of these issues, and yet the component of administrative is done. It's 0, Chair, which means Senga Hill, in terms of this component administrative, they don't have, they've got 0. They have spent everything. Now, I think this committee, Chair, would want to know on page 9 and the action taken number 5, where the administrative component is 0. You have spent anything. We would want to know, you spent on what when you cannot monitor? Even some of the projects that Honorable Nyambos has asked, what did you use this money for? Where you have spent everything. Is it for project monitoring, or is missing lunch allowances that you are using? This committee, Chair, would want to know. I submit.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. I will allow my treasurer to respond on the same.
Thank you, Chair. When you look at this administration, Chair, we are talking of the administration for the charge year 2022, and that was the period when the CDF was being introduced. And then, if you remember, Chair, there were a lot of orientation workshop which were being done both to the officers and the other stakeholders. And then it was the same money which we are spending the huge cost in terms of procurement of laptop and the other issues there. So during the year end, we had closed with this figure, Chair, which has been exhausted. I submit.
Yes. Just a follow-up. In appreciation to what you have submitted, Senga Hill, you spent the entire administrative component without effective monitoring, to the point where you failed to, every other DPO said that when they had gone there, they found there was nothing. And later on, that's when they found that they are viable. Where is the justification or the evidence or to show that they are viable? During the period of audit chairperson, there is engagement with the auditors. Sometimes they take 2 weeks, sometimes 3 weeks, even exit meetings. You could not locate them. You should have shown the minutes of your monitoring, because the monitoring was done for the year 2022. This audit was done in 2023. Do you have any report of your monitoring that you failed to submit to the auditors when they came, that these clubs, 5 clubs, were really existing and doing very well? If you had that report, unless it is manufactured now for this committee, the way councils are doing, why didn't you show the auditors to say, no, we had tried and this is what we found in our monitoring? So, Chair, my point is, the monies for administrative cost, as said by Honorable Simomba, were spent on workshops and not monitoring. Because if they were monitoring, they could have furnished the auditors evidence of their monitoring to show that these clubs were existing. Were you doing what you were supposed to have done during that period? Council Secretary.
Council Secretary.
Thank you, Chair. Of course, we did some of the monitoring, but I take full responsibility, Chair, that we did not do well. Because these clubs, 5 clubs, the DPO said that the area on before the auditors, they visited the clubs, but they didn't find the members. And then when I check on page 26 of your report, there's a monitoring report that you conducted for these 5 clubs. Why wasn't this report available to the auditor at the time of audit? And then when I look at the contents, it seems almost all these 5 clubs, they changed the scope of business. I take an example of just the first club, Tutemwane Women's Club. Keeping of pigs, growing of maize, beans and groundnuts. They were awarded 10,000 kwacha. The status is that the group is active and used the money they received to set up a poultry. But the nature of business was pigs. They already had 15 pigs. The other money has been invested into small-scale farming, where food for pigs will be coming from. So there's that change in the business scope. Is there any authority application from the clubs to seek change of business proposal for these 5 clubs? So you see now 2 issues. One issue, you could not communicate, you could not access them during the time of audit. The second issue is the change of business proposal is hidden on these members. How special is this group? And what really have you been, why have you been hiding such kind of very important information? And when I look at your remedial measure on page 6, you are saying management has enhanced sensitization and frequent monitoring of the beneficiaries of grant to ensure prudent use of public resources. I want to know how sensitization and monitoring can be of help when there is no communication
with the members of the club. How do you relate supervision, sensitization and monitoring to communication challenges that you have in Senga Hill to sort this problem out?
Thank you, Chair. We've done the change of business, or nature of business. I'm sure I should have, on the nature of business and the status quo, there should have been an error there. The keeping of pigs should have continued. Unlike pigs, then we talk of poultry. Now, Chair, the monitoring helps to contact to be in contact the beneficiaries that are been granted grants. I'm sure that's why we undertook the monitoring report, so that we are able to see physically what the groups, after being given the empowerment, what the groups were doing on the ground.
Yes, Honorable Simamba.
I think I was just looking at time. Maybe we go for another question on page 6. Administrative cost, irregular cash withdrawals, Chair. There is a circular number, Chair, number 1 of 2021, which guides the controlling officers that no cash should be withdrawn for payment of subsistence allowances, fuel, funds, and any other allowances. Further, it states that the allowances should be paid direct into the beneficiary's bank account. Contrary to the circular, the management of Senga went ahead and paid, Chair, amount totaling 254,784 to the various officers to facilitate the payment of daily subsistence to other officers instead of paying direct into the beneficiary's account. Council Secretary, why did you go against the regulation that you know very well that you shouldn't do what you are supposed to do, what you did, and you are aware of the consequences that comes when you don't abide to regulation? Why did you go against this circular and you went ahead and you paid the officers direct this accountable interest? Would want to know, why did you do this? Chair, I submit.
Thank you. Council Secretary.
Thank you, Chair. We admit as a local authority that we erred, going against what the law says, but our district chair has no banking facilities. The cost of the same members to go out to a neighboring district like Mala to open accounts, the cost could be almost equal to what they could benefit here. But for more details, I would like my treasurer to give more explanation on the same. Thank you, Chair.
Treasurer.
Thank you, Chair. First, I'll start admitting myself also, because I was one of the person who was giving the authority to my junior officers. Chair, we missed it. Just like my CS has stated, Chair, during the period under review, the members, they didn't have the account, especially for CDFC. And our main interest, Chair, was to ensure that the CDFC committee sits and make sure that the resolutions are made. And maybe on the other part of the allowances for the officers, it was the issue of the PIN, Chair, which has been electrified for now. And what I can say, Chair, is the status. We are no longer withdrawing the cash. We are now paid direct in the members' account. I submit.
They have account numbers now?
Yes, Chair.
Honorable Dr. Mwanza.
Okay, it's a different question. We go to...
No, on the same. Honorable
okay.
Nyambose.
Chair, my concern is the lack of respect to regulation by councils. Chair, we have just been dealing with one issue of how this council has failed to explain a 50,000 kwacha favored to a contractor who is on full contract. And it has just ended up with I apologize. The 50,000 kwacha is gone. Again here, Chair, regulation stipulates clearly what it is supposed to be done. Upon realizing that there is no banking facility in Senga Hill, a responsible local government system is supposed to write to the Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Local Government and Housing, seeking for authority to use such interest. Once you do that, you have a backing, and when auditors visit you, you present. But with impunity, they neglect to do the correct thing. And what they will come and say, we have now opened. Why didn't they open these accounts then? If they are able to open them now. And they were transferring 4,000 something to those accounts now. But you look at huge sums of money. There is no acquittal sheets, Chair, no memo to indicate this payment is being paid to CDF committee members. You put justification. Whether it's interest paid to me, to pay these, they're supposed to retire. And those respective officers were supposed to have an acquittal sheet. Such a meeting, we got 20,000 kwacha. Here are the people with their signatures. Such a meeting, and you add to 154. But with this 154, you cannot explain, Chair, whether this went to CDF committee members, and we may be using innocent people that they got this money when this money may be went somewhere else. Why didn't you open the accounts before? And if you failed to open them, why didn't you seek permission from the ministry? Show proof that this money really went to these members of the CDF committee. Can you show this committee? Chair, it's huge sums of money that are being expended without ending up with just an apology. We are going to do this. I submit, Chair.
Thank you. Honorable Mwanza, I'll comment on that later. Pardon? Yes. Council Secretary.
Thank you, Chair. I wanted my treasurer to give more details on the same. Thank you.
Treasurer.
Thank you, Chair. The question, if he, not mistaken, what the Honorable Nyambose asked, why did they open the account before? Chair, on that one, this is what we just from explaining here that they didn't have the account.
No, Treasurer, there are two things.
Yes.
And to me, listening to you, the best word is what you used at first. Because one of the members is saying, if they didn't have accounts, you would have sought express permission from the ministry to say, we are going to use this money because there is no banking facility and we have this activity before us. So the answer that you gave to us in the first place, that's what you should give.
Yes.
Because nothing will help the situation. You understand? Yes. That's why the acquittals, yes. Maybe. Do you have the acquittals? Yes.
Yes, Chair. We have attached the appendix A, Chair. Chair, this is the transfer which went to the bank direct to these individual members for CDF.
For A.
Yes, there is additional information which is appendix 4A.
Okay.
That's a transfer which we have taken to the bank. And these are the accounts here which they are appearing on top. I submit, Chair.
Yes.
I have admitted this. You transferred in January 2024 And we want to thank you that this time, after the auditors, you opened the accounts and you started transferring these monies to the tune of 4,550. Now, Chair, if this was a single meeting for 4,550, the amount queried by auditors is 154,784. That was used as interest when they were supposed to have opened the accounts. The question is, the 154,474,784, where are the acquittals? Because they didn't have the accounts, where you had memos for the meetings, they are underlisted, will be attending this meeting, and their entitlements is ABCD. Afterwards, they are quit. You have to take that and retire. That's how what we call retiring of the interest. And the retiring of the interest is done 48 hours after you acquire that interest. Where are those acquittals? This is the latest one for 2024, Chair. Thank you.
Do you have the acquittals?
Thank you, Chair. We didn't attach the acquittals, Chair, but they are outside from this information which we have provided.
Chair,
Thank you very much. One meeting, Chair, they are spending about 4,550. And here there is 154,784. This committee would want to know how many meetings did you undertake for you to spend this 154,784. Chair, I submit.
Council Secretary.
Thank you, Chair. We are supposed to take at least one meeting in a month. But looking at this expenditure, Chair, it includes also WDCs, that time when they were being oriented, because they also had no banking details. Maybe my treasurer can shed more light.
Treasurer.
Thank you, Chair. Just my CS has said, on the figure of 154, Chair, it's we had the expense 20,000. Or the allowances for WDC, also for CDF members, and then 57,000 was incurred for the officers who had the issues of the account. I think the money was drawn, Chair, which we have already agreed on that one. And then the balance were the allowances for the WDC. These were the transport refunds, Chair, as we were doing some orientation during the CDF guidelines. I submit here.
Honorable members. Honorable Kamondo.
I want to take you to the failure to spend. Yeah, page 11. I also take note that some monies actually were varied for different projects, to undertake different projects from the bursaries and the whatever. However, my concern is on page 16. That is, yeah. I don't know, this one was supposed to be on appendix 1. On the purchase of a motor grader, in fact, these are F-moving equipments, motor grader and a single compact roller. So we have a total amount of about 3,600,000, which is which you budgeted for. And I wanted to know now, what is the status of these two F-moving equipments? And do you have, which contractor have you engaged? At which stage are you? Because it looks like this money will still be reflected as unspent. Thank you.
On the same question.
On the same, yes.
Yeah. Thank you, Chair. The same failure to spend
on page 11, you have indicated that number of approved projects in 2022 were 33. And the number of outstanding projects now is also 33. Number of work in progress projects is 12. So from the summary of this table, I have the following questions. One, where is the conveyance of notice to approve the 33 projects from PLGOs? The second question is you have 33 projects that are outstanding, but since then, when you look at the same page 11, action taken, you're saying all the 30 projects which were started have now been completed and are under defect liability period, except 3 projects. So there's some progress out of the 33 outstanding projects, which means now you have 3 that are remaining. When I count your completion certificates, I only find 13. Yeah, the other one is repeated, the other certificate. So there are only 13 certificates. Where are the rest of the completion certificates? And these certificates, they also have very serious issues that need to need an explanation. A completion certificate, the first one was given on 20th of May in 2020 to First Gate. And I wonder, is it by coincidence that most of the contracts would finish on the same date? On the same date, because I have 7 projects, 7 certificates, completion certificates that were issued on the same day. Because it has an implication over the defects liability period. And so was it that these certificates were prepared just in preparation for audit? I can give you a very serious error. I don't know whether it's an error or it's an intentional one. The last certificate, it was the project was completed on the 20th of July 2020, but the stamp was on the 5th July 2023. 2.5 years later. A project that was completed in 2020, and then a stamp was done in 2023. What legal implications has it got on this kind of issue?
Even the next one, Chair.
That's on page what?
On page 51.
51.
Yes. It was completed on the 20th July 2023. And they came to sign on the 5th July. So what started, I don't know. The certificate was issued on 20th July 2023, successfully completed the works in Chela ward, and then they signed on the 5th July. Before it was completed, Chair, in Senga, they signed an advance, so that when they are completing, no need of signing. It's just a matter of issuing that completion certificate. That is in Senga formula. Chair, I would want to know why they signed before the completion. Chair, I submit.
Councillor Gita.
Thank you, Chair. The process of issuance of completion certificate, it goes with a number of activities that we undertake. We monitor the project and verify that these are done, and a certificate can be issued.
Chair, before, I think, Chair, to help you, this is a very serious committee, and when there is a question, there is no lecturing in this committee. When the CS starts now to say there are a lot of involvement and so forth, the question is very simple. Why did you sign the completion certificate? There are about 3, Chair, 4. In fact, when you look at it, 51, you signed before they completed. You signed on 5th, they completed on the 20th. 50, you signed on 5th, they completed on the 20th. On 49, again, you signed on the 5th, and they completed on 20th July. Again, on page 48, you signed on the 5th. Is it a formula in Senga that you can sign?
In addition?
Yes.
Maybe in addition, the last copy, if I read it carefully, it says, this is to certify that if Simukonda Coast Transport and Suppliers of this 20th July 2020 successfully completed the works in Icho's ward. I believe that's when the certificate was issued, in 20th July 2020, and then 2023, 2 years later, you come and put the stamp and sign, Director of Works.
To help you, Chair, it is quite sad, and I hope the Ministry of Local Government and the other government wings are taking interest into this. Chair, it is unheard of. Where has the system gone? That before the contract is finished, you stamp. When you put your stamp, Director of Works, Director of Planning, Council Secretary, you are authenticating, you are confirming. And they are confirming a thing that is not done. And the Council Secretary wants to lecture this committee and this nation. Chair, this is the culture that has come in the local government. Look at, I always refer to, I referred earlier, 50,000 kwacha. We sincerely apologized. It is gone. Public resources, by Chair. And this is what they can justify. No wonder we wanted their employer to be sitting here. You cannot justify this. What I expected was unreservedly apologizing, because this is what they are cooking. They are cooking evidence. And when they go to Charimbana where they assemble, they have no interest. Someone is cooking these things for the purpose of appearing in this committee. Chair, it's not fair to this country to have officers who can come and think that we don't read these things. It's an indictment on your part. It reflects who you are. The government has given you a privilege to work for this nation. Then you can do these things. Then you want to justify. Are we helping our country? It is not fair.
Thank you, Honour.
That is what I wanted to comment.
Thank you very much, Honourable Mendose. Council Secretary, I was asking previously, a few minutes ago, whether we went through this report before submitting it to Parliament. Did you go through this?
Thank you, Chair.
I'm asking, did you go through it?
I went through it.
As management?
But yes, I think we have a number of errors I've noticed, Chair. What the committee has...
I don't want to go that route. Me, I'm saying, did you go through this report as management at Senga Hill?
Yes, Chair, we sat and went through it.
Are you aware of the Cap 12 that I gave you at the inception of this meeting?
Yes, Chair.
And you knew that all these, a number of errors like you are putting it. Don't you feel that those errors are misleading? If members didn't read this report, if members didn't have the know-how, they didn't have the knowledge, they would have taken what you have put in, all the errors that you have put. So
we are sorry, Chair.
It's trying to deceive the nation, trying to deceive the committee, trying to get away with everything. You are one of the members. I think we are over our time. I think Honorable, yes, they can answer, but these people are not giving us anything. We are not getting anything. They read true. In every language you find there is a proverb where they say if there's a rotten groundnut, you eat with good ones. So a lot of them are apologies. I got an apology from the internal auditor. I got an apology from the treasurer. I got an apology from Director of Works. I got an apology from CS. All these, they have apologized to this committee. So what good is left there? In external auditors, there is a 50,000. Please go back and check on it, find where that money is. We cannot do things and say it's business as usual. People that are going to pay a blind eye to things that they know they are supposed to do. Like my comrade, my Honorable Mbose Robert to explain that the regulations are there adequately. So I want to say, Senga Hughes, we appreciate your appearance before this committee, but we want to indicate to you that seriously we are not happy with the way your report is structured, your uncoordinated responses to this committee. That just tells us that you people, you are not working together and you people are not doing anything. We have been seeing this burning rate, we have seen this and that, but at the end of the day, there is nothing on the ground, there is nothing happening because you have uncoordinated work programs. We want to urge you, Council Secretary, to work as a team. We want to urge you to make sure that everything is ticking in your district, because the government has given you everything. The government has given you the vehicle, has given you the monies and monitor projects, and they're able to do everything. But if you're not doing those things, you have no one to blame but yourselves. Director of Works, a lot of things. I mentioned during our at the beginning of our meeting that the council have a very strong appetite for labor-based contracts. You love them. You take over, but you want to sneak labor materials even when you have given a full contract. And you say, I'm going to explain. No, contracts are done like this. All these are members of parliament. They have councils, they have director of works, they have director of engineering in their respective councils. So the possibility of you convincing them with your explanation is almost zero. Here we follow the project, we follow your submission, and we interrogate within the boundaries of the report that you have submitted. We will not go out. But when you want to go out there and explain, that one explain other than what you have submitted, we will not accept it. We want to put it on record that your report does not meet the minimum acceptable standard for the admission of a report here. We urge you to work hard, and at this time I wish to withdraw the immunity that was conferred on you and allow you to travel back to Senga. You are free to leave.
Zambia. Even saying the word is a multi-sensory experience. It somehow captures something of the essence of this special place in the warm heart of southern Africa. Take in the mighty Zambezi River, the majestic Victoria Falls that form Zambia's natural southern border, and the national parks overflowing with wildlife. Immerse yourself in the fast-growing towns and cities, teeming with history, light, and life. Then visit the vast lakes that seem to touch the stars and engage with a plethora of different ethnic groups, cultures, and languages. Together, they make up the intricately woven fabric of this remarkable country. To visit Zambia is to begin a love affair that will never be exhausted, and unlike any that you have ever experienced before. For all the superlatives that man has used in his attempts to describe Victoria Falls, none are able to do this incredible natural wonder justice. You have to see it for yourself. It is a truly awe-inspiring experience. Livingston, once Zambia's capital, and the Zambian side of the falls have become a mecca for discerning adventure tourists. Peer into the abyss from Devil's Pool at the edge of the falls. Career down the powerful rapids from Batoka Gorge in a whitewater raft. Bungee jump from the historic Victoria Falls Bridge. Or fly over the falls on a flight of angels. Whatever activity you choose, you'll be left with a renewed appreciation for the sheer might of nature. Kafue National Park is amongst the biggest in Africa and is home to more than 130 species of mammal and more than 400 bird species. Enjoy the wildlife from a different perspective on a boat cruise or a canoeing or walking safari. For sheer density of game, South Luangwa National Park is second to none. It certainly lives up to its nickname as the Valley of the Leopard. The stunning Liuwa Plains play host to the world's second largest wildebeest migration and boast some of the most striking vistas you will see anywhere in Africa. At Kasanka National Park, you can view the largest mammal migration in the world when each November, literally millions of fruit bats cover the skyline as the sun sets. Zambia's bodies of water are as abundant as its wildlife. Although it is landlocked, this country has more water than any other in Africa. There are the long, meandering rivers, some of which are interspersed by waterfalls that are only narrowly surpassed by Vic Falls. Then there are the lakes, from the vast, remote Lake Tanganyika, far in the north of the country, which is one of Africa's Great Lakes, to Lake Kariba, Africa's biggest man-made dam. Kariba is an increasingly popular beach holiday destination that is strangely reminiscent of the French Riviera. Or for the best bath of your life, visit the incredible Kapisha Hot Springs. Another unique aspect of this remarkable country are the Zambians themselves. The country's home to 72 different ethnic groups and languages, all of whom have their own diverse cultural traits and traditions. One thing they do have in common: they are all unfailingly warm and welcoming. Zambians are famous for their very own special brand of hospitality, as well as the pride they take in their Zambian identity. Wherever you go in Zambia, you will meet people who will go out of their way to leave you with a positive impression and make you feel at home. So what are you waiting for? Book your trip now and enjoy the kind of African experience you've always dreamt of. Whatever it is you're looking for, you can always be sure to find it somewhere in Zambia. So let's explore.
Cholera is an acute diarrheal infection caused by ingestion of food or water contaminated with the bacterium Vibrio cholerae.
Symptoms of cholera include vomiting, diarrhea, and dehydration.
How do you prevent cholera?
Be sure to drink and use safe water that has been boiled or chlorinated.
Wash your hands with soap and safe water before handling the food or after using the toilet.
Use clean water to wash your vegetables and fruits. Avoid eating foods from the street that have been exposed to flies.
Always eat food that is completely cooked and hot.
Make sure to visit your nearest health care center when you have suspected cholera cases.
Remember, prevention is better than cure.
My name is Honorable Elias Mubanga, who is a nominated Member of Parliament and who is the Minister for Small and Medium Enterprise Development in Zambia. I am a family man. I'm married and I have kids who I love so much. And before I joined Parliament, I've been running my own enterprise, my own business. And I've run my own business for over 25 years. So I started as a micro, small business, and I grew my business to a medium business. So I understand entrepreneurship. I understand the challenges the businesses, especially small and medium businesses, go through in this country. And that's why His Excellency the President of the Republic of Zambia saw it fit that I'm able to run the small and medium ministry, which is a new ministry to take care of the, smaller businesses in the country. My aim is to first and foremost formalize, these informal small businesses, to make sure that they register. That's my mandate number one, and that's what we are working on. And then we are also trying to make sure that we put up a policy, the policy that will address the small and medium businesses in this country, because we've never had, such a ministry, or we've never had an institution emphasizing the small and medium businesses, which occupy a bigger space in this country. Over 95% of all the businesses in the country are in the hands of the small and medium businesses. And that's why we want to make sure that they are formalized. That's why we want to make sure that the policy is there, and we give them regulations that will guide, these businesses. You see, once we formalize these businesses, then the government will be able to have, a wider tax base from the formal or formalization of these small and medium businesses. The vision is to make sure that we grow this sector. That is my vision. Meaning we must make sure that these businesses start growing from micro, small to medium. So that's my aim, is to make sure that I give guidance, I give provision, I also help, once they are formalized, we can also help them to have skills, how to run businesses, and as well, for them to have access to finance.
Basically, I'm a villager from Monze.